Hi, it's me, Caleesha Moore, with Conversations with Caleesha, and I'm here with a very special guest today, a singer, a songwriter, a Tallahassee native, and more importantly, a family man, Royce Lovett.
Thanks. What's up, guys?
How you doing today,
I'm
Royce?
doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. I'm extremely grateful. Quick background, I met Royce a few weeks ago when
Hmm.
you were doing your Tallahassee Talks interview with Brian Sorney with
Yes.
Chef Shack.
Hmm.
And she had you record something saying you love bacon. And I
Yes.
just knew right then that he was really cool. I didn't make the best first impression. And he was
No.
super humble and super chill and super grateful. So I'm really appreciative that you came here with me today. So you're from Tallahassee
Hmm.
and you have been doing this music thing for like a decade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little over 10 years. It's been a passion, fun, hard, sweat, blood, tears, laughing, all that.
So I seen in one of your other interviews that you started around like Tom Brown Park, Dorothy
Yes.
B. Evans,
Hmm.
anywhere like Ella, anywhere you can get heard.
Yeah. Anywhere people were gathered, because like when you're starting out, like you can't just like rent a venue and say, "Hey,
hmm
come watch me play." Like a lot of times you have to find where people are and you have to play and see if people will gravitate towards you.
So
And
how
I
did
think
you
it's a beautiful thing.
find, sorry, how did you find that the support was for you, like being from Tallahassee and playing here? Was there like a really good reception?
I don't know. Like I think when you're starting out, it's all about perseverance.
hmm
And then when you get in the middle of your career, it's all about perseverance. And then as you're climbing, it's all about perseverance. Like I don't think there was ever a time up until now maybe like where I just started realizing in myself,
hmm
my heart and head, that people dig it. You
hmm
know, when I started, I think I was just doing what I love to do
Yeah.
and just writing and seeing people smile and seeing people somewhat encouraged, that someone is out there chasing the dream. You know, I think that a lot of times we don't see a lot of dream chasers. We see a lot of money chasers, but we don't see a lot of dream chasers.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that those things can't go hand in hand, but I don't know. I think that at the time starting out, it was more about learning my craft and learning who I was and coming of age and just doing what I love to do.
hmm Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that the people think you're somewhat of a hometown hero now, you know?
Yeah, the definitely like each year has been really cool. Like as you focus and move forward on your goals and your dreams, like every year, I believe you learn new things, you meet new people, you make new relationships, you do good with what you have, and
hmm
then when you have better, you do better at what you have,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And so every year, I think not just my hometown, but just like um, different communities within the hometown, I found like a place to live in those places, to live in the black community, white community, mixed community, college community, underserved
hmm
community, and in every city, those communities all matter, and those communities all have a voice,
hmm
and I find it really awesome that I'm able to speak in those arenas or those places.
Yeah, definitely. So, Royce, how did you get started?
How did I get started? That is a huge question because I don't. I think. Well, I think the most simple way to answer this is I think it just has something to do with my upbringing. My parents kind of raised me to be very purpose driven.
hmm
I'm not sure how they did that, but they kind of raised me to be purpose driven. And then somewhere around 2003, I just was like, if God is real, then purpose has to be real. So if purpose is real, what's my purpose?
hmm
And I started searching that out, and I think the the kindling match for me, the fire for me to do this thing was me feeling like I heard God say, "Music is what you're here for."
Okay. So, you grew up in the church, right? So, you were
Hmm.
around a lot of that. Would you say that inspired you to maybe dig a little deeper? Because I know you taught yourself how to play the guitar.
Hmm.
So, where
Hmm.
did that come from?
A lot of times, teaching yourself to do something comes from necessity,
Okay.
and inside church, like There was a time where I wasn't playing any instruments, but then the drummer moved away, and so I had to learn to play drums.
Oh.
And then it was like, then the piano player moved away, and I didn't really pick up piano as fast as I picked up guitar, so I had to learn to play guitar. And those things kind of came necessity, but I started to fall in love with music during that time. I think, everything happens for a reason. And so during that time of like learning to play guitar, I was also learning to write songs. And I developed a love for singing. And because at first I was only rapping. And I just started falling in love with different genres of music, reggae, from Bob Marley to Bob Dylan, and the Fugees and rock and soul. I just started falling in love with all these styles of music, and I started kind of messing with them and mixing them together.
So you felt it was important to not limit yourself. I like that. Not putting yourself in a box is definitely important
Yeah,
because just getting stuck on one thing, I feel, makes you super stagnant.
yeah.
And it's hard to grow that way. So, legend has it that you had your first gig in like the 11th grade at a pizza shop. So,
Yes.
take me back to the moment that you had to do something that you loved that wasn't in church
Yeah.
and you got to perform in front of people. What was that like?
It was really cool and also a bit nerve-wracking because when I first got the phone call, they were like, all right, cool, we want to book you. We like what you do, and we need 4 45-minute sets.
Woo.
And in my head, I was like, oh, wow, that's what happens. I don't just play like a few songs and y'all clap and then
Yeah,
we
and then
leave.
get
Like,
off.
yeah, it's like I have to entertain for 4 45-minute sets. So what happened is I didn't have that much material. So I started learning a bunch of songs. Started learning a bunch of cover songs. I started writing more songs. And then I was like, I still don't have enough music. So I called friends and I was like, yo, this is my first show. I'm getting paid $50 and I'm getting like 2 large pizzas and
Oh.
like some soda. So would you guys like to come out and just have some pizza with me and play some of y'all music, and I'll play some of my music, and it would be like a cool jam session type thing. So it ended up being like maybe like 5 local folks and all of my friends.
Wow.
And we just like played music and we ate pizza and I got paid $50.
Ooh. That was a pretty cool experience, though, to be able to do that with your friends for the first time.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. I think, as I started to come back, learning that if I'm gonna actually take home this $50, I'm gonna have to learn all these songs by myself. Like, then realizing, oh man, like I need sound equipment and I need this and need that. It just really opened up my mind to everything that comes in order with being a performer, being an entertainer, not just singing, but being able to to realize, like I had to learn, like, okay, a normal song is what, like 3 minutes 20 seconds, 3 minutes 10 seconds, and I have to play a 45-minute set. How can I make this 3-minute song
Stretch.
stretch? So like trying to get better at the guitar so you can do like a cool intro, and learning to not give everything away at the beginning of the song, so you can like maybe sing the chorus a few more times but a few more special ways, or finding a song, and then once you see somebody is really digging the song, is really into it, maybe play it a little bit more. Maybe like you see people are dancing, don't end the song, just keep playing the
Just keep
song.
doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just keep playing that song, let them dance until people kind of fade away, and then you play the next song. I think Backwoods Bistro is the name of the joint.
Is it still here? Like, is it
It's
still up in
not in
Tallahassee?
Sop Choppy anymore, but it is in Tallahassee on Tennessee Street.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Backwoods Bistro, my first gig, let them boys.
Shout out to y'all.
Yes. um, but yeah, so I think playing there definitely got my feet wet, to what to look for.
Yeah. Well, that definitely helped you become the artist that you are today because since you've had multiple projects and Love and Other Dreams. Tell me a little bit about that.
Love and Other Dreams is my most recent most recent album release, with Motown Gospel major label. It was a dream come true. I think that artists look a long time for the right producer to put with music, and I found that Max Stark, like excuse me, incredible guy,
Yeah.
just incredible guy. And I was able to kind of write and put my story inside the music in a way that made like sense in soul and made sense in hip hop, merging them together, like, and also keeping this like singer songwriter storyteller feel within about 5 songs. Um, there's some like really special songs in there, like "Up for Love" just feels really good, makes me smile, and it makes other people smile, and that makes me smile seeing them. Some really powerful songs in there, like these powerful moments that I was trying to find inside Ballad, where I just kind of talk about the struggle I was kind of going through, realizing what exactly a black man in America means and how can I redefine my narrative as a father and a husband and an artist trying to chase my dream as a black man in America with dreads. You know,
Yes.
it's there's layers to it. And so there's this moment inside Ballad that I just wanted to be very powerful. And we found it. Like it gets to this place where it builds and the crescendo just makes you feel like you're lifted,
Yeah.
makes you feel like you're flying. And the whole idea was just to kind of paint this picture that, you know, there's love that we're chasing for and there's other dreams that we're chasing for. And sometimes those dreams aren't good dreams. Sometimes those dreams are nightmares and we're running from them, we're trying to hide from them, we're trying to fight through them. And that's the dark, cloudy, sunny day picture I was trying to kind of paint with that release.
Yeah. You said you were with Motown at the time, right? And they tried to, I guess, put you in the box of the genre of Christian music, but that wasn't really a thing. So, did you find that there were any struggles?
There was some struggles because I wasn't necessarily traditional gospel, and I don't even want to say necessarily. I'm not at all traditional gospel music, but because of my message and because I grew up in the church and the people I want to reach, we thought it would be a good place for me. And I learned so much. Amazing things happened. But I think the challenge was a lot of folks, if they heard I was on a gospel label before they heard the music, they wouldn't want to hear the music.
Yeah.
And that was the struggle. And I don't know if that was, you know, on my fault or the label's fault, or maybe just the fault of people judging the book before they read
Before
it.
they could even see, yeah.
Yeah. And so there were some interesting times, but there were some amazing times as well. Like I got to do a lot of cool stuff, like get to be featured on BET and be on Jet Magazine and be in Walmart, like walk into Walmart and see your album on the shelf. That's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you feel like it gave you like going from, I guess back then you were independent as well, right? And then you go to like having this major push. Do you feel like it gave you a sense of validation in your artistry, or did you already have that before going to like a major label?
Like I said, I think that every year you need extra validation because we forget sometimes. Like I just did a TED Talk at Berkeley, and right when I got back home, I was like, oh, I gotta get this song out and I gotta do this. And I was running through this list, and my wife was like, Royce, you just did a TED Talk.
Like, and that's big. That is huge.
Like, calm down, just rest at this plateau and be thankful and be grateful. And things are gonna pick up, things are gonna happen. Like, the world is gonna hear the music and see the message. And I think, so sometimes I do think that we need those steps of validation. But to answer your question, I think every year I felt a bit more validated in who I was. You know, even now, I think I feel a bit more validated, a bit more confident every year in who you are and what you do and how you're going to achieve that. Like, before getting with Motown, I was doing a lot of touring in Europe. And I think Europe brought a whole layer of validation and confidence to like my artistry and my performance and just music in general. I think I realized while I was touring in Europe that people don't care about too much message. I think in the States, you know, we're taught as entertainers, book writers, artists, poets, performers, we're taught that mainstream, mainstream, mainstream. Not if you do too much message, you're gonna miss out. You're gonna lose.
Yeah.
I was playing the same music I was playing in churches, in clubs, in bars, at picnics, at colleges, on tours, at stadiums and coffee shops. Thousands of people, hundreds of people in Europe, and they were loving it, and it was just amazing. And I think that when Motown saw that and I came along, that was another step of validation. I think it's important to feel validated, but at the same time, what I want to say is don't live for other people's validation.
Yes.
You know, because then you'll die when you don't get that validation.
Yep. If you live for the cheers, you'll die by the booze. That's what they
Exactly.
say. So you've had a very busy 2019, from TED Talks to the stage of The Voice.
Yes.
So you had been getting some emails that you thought were suspicious. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, like, I don't know, like, I'm probably going to get 2 or 3 calls today that I pick up, and it's going to be some scam. And so I'm always cautious of, like, is this real? Is this not real? Is this deserving of, like, should I open this email? And so I didn't know that shows like NBC The Voice would search out talent. And so when I got these emails and these, like, Instagram DMs, I just kind of ignored them for a few years. And then finally, my wife was like, yo, you should check this out, see what this is. And it was real, and it was really cool. That whole experience from start to finish just was amazing. I'd never been on a production that big before.
That big.
Just seeing how many people NBC employs. They make so many jobs.
They do.
From handlers to directors to producers to camera people to hospitality. Like, it was amazing. Everybody was so nice and just beautiful. From vocal coaches to the band and guitar techs. Like, it was beautiful to watch, beautiful to see, and I'm glad I got to be a part of it. And I got to meet some amazing people throughout the whole process of when it was, you know, almost 500 folks trying, and until it was like 38 people trying, until it was the winner. You know, last night, Jake Hoop, shout out to Jake, and all and everybody that just kind of was beautiful. Just the voices, the people I met. Rose Short, like, I got to spend a lot of time with her. Like, she is beautiful. She's a beautiful person. You know, Katie. It was just a beautiful time.
So season 17, okay, they've been on for a while.
Yes, they know what they're doing.
Were you like a avid watcher before you got on? And did it take much convincing to get you on? Like, once you heard it was real, were you just in there?
To be honest, I watch a lot of movies. I don't watch a lot of TV. So my first time watching The Voice was watching me on The Voice. So I'm sorry to say that. I love you guys. But yeah, and I just thought it was so special. Like, my aunt Gloria, she would tell me, "Oh, you should watch The Voice. You should watch The Voice." And then when I got the phone call and actually doing it, I was like, I cannot wait until she's like sitting on her couch. I'm not gonna tell her nothing.
Yes.
And then she sees me walk out, like, she's gonna flip, and she did. It was really cool. I just sat on the phone with her for a little while and just talked about it.
That's super dope. So you get there, right? And you come out, you and your guitar. What is the feeling right before you get ready to go through those doors and get on that stage? Like, what does that feel like for you?
It was completely different than any other stage I've ever been on. I mean, you're thinking about the millions of people that watch it. You're thinking about the millions of people that are going to watch it on YouTube. You're thinking about this whole validation thing comes in again. What if you don't get a chair? What if you don't make it? Are my fans going to think I'm less talented? Like, like, what if I don't win this whole thing? Am I not a great artist? You know what I mean? A lot's going through your head, and I think that's the thing that kind of made me nervous the most. I remember before the audition, my family had just got to LA. We're in the back room. And as I think about it now, I remember there were some really awesome things that I missed because I was so in my head about the opportunity. Like, my wife, she was beautiful. She is beautiful. But, like, she was beautiful. And my kids, they had on new clothes and they were looking fly with new haircuts and they were happy to see me. I've been gone for a little while. And we were just talking, hanging out. There was like games. And I was engaging, but I realized that I wasn't as engaging as I'd like to be or on the normal. And then when they called my name and then I was standing in that hallway, I remember just feeling so completely anxious. And then there was a moment where I was just like, I have never felt like this before. Like, what's up, Royce? Calm down. Like, what is happening? And then I did something that I've never done before. And I think I'm going to continue to do this or continue to practice this. I felt something say, like, remember the moment. You know, like if you go home, if you don't go home, like just remember this moment right here. So I was like, practically, I'm a practical thinker, and I was just like, how do I remember this moment? So all I could think was to touch the wall and then feel how cold it was or how warm it was. And then I counted the lights that were above me through the hallway. There was 5 lights. And then I counted the rows of people that I could see, and there were 6 rows. And I remember I still to this day, like even talking to you, I can remember how the wall felt, and I can remember the colors of the lights and how many there were and the rows of people. And then this just like calmingness just kind of came over me, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to do this and have some fun.
Listen.
And I'll remember this.
Whatever you did worked, because as soon as you got out there, you set fire to Wyclef Jean's 911. And within 30 seconds, Gwen Stefani turned her chair around, and that was it from there.
Someone please call 911 and tell him mine has been shot down, and a bullet in my heart and it's piercing through my soul. Feel my body getting cold, so cold.
How did that make you feel? I mean, Blake did too. Let's not leave Blake out.
Yeah,
He did too.
What's up, Blake?
But Gwen, like, automatically felt a connection to you. How did that make you feel?
It felt completely right. Like the moment I knew Gwen was going to be on the show, I knew I was going to pick Gwen. I just felt a connection there. I love her style of music and her career. It's been like amazing, you know? And so I was like, I think she's going to turn around. Like, to be honest with you, I didn't know if she would turn around or not. It's a game. They're trying to figure out who America is going to go for the most. And, you know, in my head, first going into the show, I was like, America probably might not vote for this soulful rasp kind of thing. And I don't really even consider myself a singer with all the runs and the big notes. But thanks. But when she turned around, it definitely felt like this is on cue. This is the platform and the space and the moment and the right time. And I was happy to see her like turn around and dance and connect with the music, because I know that, you know, she's always connected with reggae and soul and hip hop, you know, and she's done it on a very mainstream pop level. But looking at the people that she's worked with throughout the years, from Eve to Pharrell, like to will.i.am, Black Eyed Peas, like I think what she does is pretty cool.
A lot of big people. And you said that you aren't, you know, you don't consider yourself a singer, but what made you decide to go out there and sing? Because, you know, I've heard you on some tracks rapping now.
I don't know what made me decide to go sing. I guess it was just how the opportunity presented itself. And I knew that they weren't looking for you know, rappers or for any bars, you know what I mean? In fact, when they asked me to kind of like spit something during the interview, I was like, I don't know, I don't know how America likes that.
Yeah.
But no, it was great, and I loved the way the NBC painted the story of this songwriter, singer that loves his family and loves making people, you know, come together, you know, different communities come together. You know, singing is a thing that you do when you're happy, and I just love singing. And I think rapping is a thing I do when I'm trying to get a point across, trying to get a message across, and paint a picture. I love doing both, and I think I learned so much about singing on The Voice. That was my first time ever having vocal lessons, learning about this muscle that we use, not even realizing that it was a muscle that you can like train and you can feel and activate when you're doing the right, appropriate singing. You know what I mean? So it was really cool.
Yeah. And you did that. Okay. So Royce does have some songs that he dropped this year. Dope, which honestly, the sample with Angel, oh my gosh, I
Thank you.
appreciated that automatically. And Anita Baker, who love me some her. And Everyday People, those are two really great songs. So you want to go ahead and tell them where they can find you on social media, all the streaming platforms, they can catch up with you.
Yeah, everything's super easy. Just my full name, Royce Lovett, Lovett. Uh, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, but I probably won't check
Ooh,
it. I'm just
MySpace.
playing.
Right.
um, all the streaming platforms from Google Play to Spotify to Apple Music, anywhere that you're streaming your music, even Tidal. I appreciate every stream. Like, a lot of folks ask, like, how can they help their favorite artists? And yes, buying merch and coming to shows is one way, but letting people know about the music so they can stream it opens so many doors. Like, you just don't know what
Hmm.
500,000 to a million streams can do for an artist. Like, it doesn't turn into a bunch of revenue, but what it turns into is a bunch of doors opening, and that's a beautiful thing.
Okay. Well, Royce, is there anything I might have missed during this interview that you want to let the people know?
I don't know. I've had a blessed time. Thank you so much for having me. This has been really good.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate the time, and we're going to wrap it here. Thanks, y'all.